So our topic for today is about quadratic equations. Now, you have to determine whether your equation is a quadratic one. How? When you encounter a variable with a square written here, it is a quadratic equation. And you have only one letter here, we have x, and sometimes you will see that you have y equals. And if you are going to plot that one, it will have a parabolic curve. Now for quadratic equations, we have complete and incomplete quadratic equations. For complete, this is the general form of quadratic equations. We have ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Now in numbers, we have x squared plus or minus 5x plus or minus 6 is equal to 0. The numerical coefficient of x squared is a. The numerical coefficient of the middle term x is b. And we have a constant here, a number without any letter. So for a, b, and c, they are constant. And usually a is equal to 1. Like in this example, we don't see any number here before the x squared. Therefore, our a here is equal to 1. Our b, which is the numerical coefficient of x here, is positive 5. If this one is negative, then your b is negative 5. And you have the c, which is positive 6. If this one is negative 6, then your c is negative 6. So x here is the variable, meaning we are going to solve for x because x sometimes has one solution or two solutions or no solution at all. Have no real root. Now, we have ways of determining or solving quadratic equations. We have 4 methods. The first one is by taking the square root of our equation. Second is by factoring. Third is by completing the square. And the fourth one, in which we use this one for advanced lesson, advanced topic. In our algebra, we have the quadratic formula. When we can't do the factoring, then we do the quadratic formula. And usually, if the a or the b or the c are decimals, it's better to use the quadratic formula because it's very hard to find the factors of the formula or the equations. Number 1, when do we use the square roots? This one is for the easy one when we have incomplete quadratic equation. We have only 2. We have the complete in which we have the x squared, the x, and the number composed of 3 terms here. It's a complete quadratic equation. When we have incomplete, we have only the x squared and the middle term x. It's incomplete if there is no constant or a number. Or the second one is the first one and the third one, the c, without the middle term. We can have the bx and c only without x squared because if that is the case, it will not be a quadratic equation anymore. It will be a linear equation only. So the x squared should not What is this factoring? If you can factor that one, and usually we have a complete quadratic equation for that, and we can solve that one by factoring. Or if you have incomplete in this form, x squared and the middle term, we can use also factoring. But usually factoring is used when we have complete quadratic equation. The third one is by completing the square. Now we can use this one for complete quadratic equation or just only incomplete quadratic equation. We can use this one. But for completing the square, you should have also the skill of perfect square trinomial. You should know how to make perfect square trinomial, and then the factor of this one, which is the square of binomial. You should know that skill. And the fourth one is we have already the formula for quadratic equations, which is x is equal to minus b plus and minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And the quadratic formula is derived from